Hi, everyone, and welcome to Café IBTTA. I'm Pat Jones. My guests today are Shannon Swank and DeeAnne Vickery, the two chief meeting organizers for IBTTA's 90th annual meeting and exhibition in Austin, Texas, September 16 through 20. Shannon is co-founder and chief marketing officer of Plus Pass, Inc. DeeAnne is chief of staff of the Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority, one of our host agencies. Shannon and DeeAnne, welcome to Café IBTTA. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thanks
We're
for
so
having
excited to
us.
be here and talk about this amazing conference we've got coming up.
All right. Well, this is a special edition of Café IBTTA in which we're going to focus on all the great things that are happening at the IBTTA annual meeting in Austin, just 2.5 short weeks from now. And we are taking your questions, and we want to get started right away. So in the chat function, please tell us your favorite things about Austin. These can be things you've already experienced or things that you hope to experience if you've never been to Austin before. So please tell us in the chat, what are some of your favorite things about Austin? What do you love about Austin? All right, let's see. What do we have here? We got live music. Yeah.
Music. Breakfast tacos. Yes. Keeping it weird. Barbecue.
DeeAnne and Shannon. Yeah. Okay. Access to water and the river. Okay. It may be warm, but at least it's humid. All right.
That is the truth.
Rickshaws. I don't think I've encountered those, huh?
They're important when you're downtown for sure.
Good deal. A good way to get around. Well, we're going to talk about those and some other things here, but right now I'd like to turn to Shannon and DeeAnne. We've heard our guests talk a little bit about some of the fun things to do in Austin, especially music. But let's talk about some of the, the programming aspects of the meeting. Shannon, DeeAnne, tell us, what are some of the highlights that you see coming up for Austin?
Well, I'll start. This has been such an exciting conference to plan. Obviously, we love having everybody come to Austin, but there's so many things to highlight about this annual in particular. First thing I wanted to talk about is our keynote speaker, Steve Farber. And I don't know, I know he has talked at IBTTA before, but he's the best-selling author of Extreme Leadership. And with our theme this year of resilience, leadership, and opportunity, I cannot wait to hear what he has to say as we're all sort of wrestling with what is this, I don't want to call it post-COVID world we're in, but we're kind of getting past the extreme part of the pandemic. And how do we create a vibrant culture that supports everybody at all levels throughout an organization? So we're really excited to hear what he has to say. So that will be our keynote speaker on Monday. And then this is a supersized program. I mean, the content at the annual conferences are always so incredible to begin with, but we've got a full extra day of content this year. So your app is going to be more important than ever to make sure that you know all the programming going on and can make sure that you're a part of everything that you want to go to during the several days of this conference. We've got Women in Tolling programming, Young Professionals Organization, the Platinum Sponsors, the exhibit hall, all sorts of different content. So we're real excited to bring everybody to Austin to be a part of the content.
And DeeAnne, I want to pile on there about the meeting app. We've upgraded the meeting app this year, and there's I guess you could call it, there's a gamification feature where the more likes that you have and the more business cards you exchange and other things, you get points for this, and there's a leaderboard. So you want to get yourself on the leaderboard with all of your activity in the IBTTA meeting app.
Oh, I'm getting on the leaderboard for sure. So
Challenge
everybody,
accepted.
yes, exactly. We also have a really amazing community service project that we are going to create kitchen and home kits for an organization here called Safe Alliance. It's a group that I know Shannon and I are both very familiar with, and they do such amazing work for families and victims of abuse. So we're so excited to be a part of that and invite everybody to participate in that community service project for us. And it's going to a really, really great cause.
Yeah, that organization, not only do they provide assistance in the way of, the kits that we're going to be putting together, but they do a lot of education for abuse victims, at-risk teens and families. So it's a really kind of comprehensive approach to the underserved and to the abuse at-risk people.
Yeah, the tentacles that they have go out in so many different aspects. So it's a really incredible organization.
So our delegates can do good while they're getting educated, networking, and having fun.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect combination.
Yeah, I think a lot of what we tried to do with this program is, in addition to providing all of the amazing content that was provided during the year and pulling all of that together for the end of the year. If you've missed the technology conference because you weren't able to attend, you get a flavor of that here at the annual meeting and some of the other conferences. So you're able to kind of bring together all of the highlights, but then making sure that we had that Austin influence for every track, every networking opportunity. So there's going to be that element of keeping Austin weird and fun to all of it.
Yeah, we look forward to all attendees not getting so much, of course, out of the content, but leaving here saying that was the most amazing conference and I had the best time I've had yet. So that's our goal, is that not only do you learn so much with all the incredible content, you can do good, Pat, as you said, participating in the community service, but you also get to have some fun while you're doing it.
Shannon, DeeAnne, there are so many things going on at this Austin conference, and you're going to talk about more of those things in just a minute. But for the first timer, for the newcomer, it can seem overwhelming. And I wonder if you have some advice or guidance that you would give to a first-time attendee to help them plug into a meeting like this.
I would say definitely going back to the app. I mean, the app is your friend. It's really going to help you organize yourself because it can be overwhelming. I mean, I've been a part of IBTTA for over 20 years, and I'm still overwhelmed, especially with all of the newcomers to our industry. And I know we'll probably talk about that later, but I think organizing what is most important to you in terms of the sessions, but then definitely taking advantage of those networking opportunities there. I mean, IBTTA is such an amazing community. I've never been to an event where there isn't somebody that's willing to introduce you to, another company that you're looking to potentially work with, or an agency, or just making that friend that kind of helps you through the conference. So definitely take advantage of all of those opportunities to network, and then get yourself organized when you're looking at all of the sessions and what it is that you want to see and who you want to see speak.
Yeah, the app is just critical. And I think also if you're a first-time attendee, I love that IBTTA recognizes those first-time attendees. And so that's a way for people to seek you out and say, hey, Shannon, let's walk to, the exhibit hall together and things like that. I know for my first IBTTA conference, that was so critical to me. I was new to the transportation industry. This was my first conference. I had my little first time attendee badge on, and people were so helpful to kind of help guide me. Now having the app and these leaderboard opportunities that you can go and get points for seeing what you want to attend is going to make it even more interactive and fun.
And speaking of networking opportunities, we have a reception on Sunday afternoon for new members and first-time attendees. So you definitely want to attend that. It's specifically designed for first-time attendees and new members, and we'll have board members there and other veterans there to greet you and welcome you and just sort of show you the ropes like you've been talking about.
Yeah.
You know, there's another interesting thing happening. We call it our safe space conversation, which is a product of our task force on diversity, social and racial inclusion. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
I would love to talk about that. So I was honored to moderate the first of these safe space conversations at the annual in Anaheim in 2021. And, you know, it started off, I think, Shannon, you were there. We had about 20 people in that safe space conversation. But the whole goal is that we bring together all of us that are in the same industry, dealing with the same challenges, the same issues, the same opportunities, and be able to talk about things in an open environment that you feel like is, again, I don't want to use air quotes, but it is a safe space where you can say, gosh, I'm working on a DEI program for the agency where I am or the company that I'm from, and I want some advice, or here's something I encountered with my coworkers and want to get some thoughts on that. The topics that came up in that first one spanned, I mean, you would not imagine different experiences, looking back at historical experiences. Then we followed up in Orlando, and I think we had standing room only in that room for the safe space conversation. We were having to talk around, you know, there was, you know, a pillar in the room, and we were having to kind of, you know, make sure that everybody could be heard and seen. So exciting when you see that many people wanting to be involved in such an important topic.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, like DeeAnne said, seeing that growth from being 20 people to, you know, over 100 and all of the different subject matter, it was just one of those things that understanding we're all dealing with the same issues. We've had COVID, we've had, you know, work from home and going back to work and all of those things, but we all approach them so differently, and different groups have different considerations. And so the ability to ask those questions that maybe you were worried about asking before, that you thought maybe weren't appropriate, everything was open because we wanted to get that information out there and educate people.
And you know what was I thought so wonderful about these safe space conversations is that the conversations continued outside of the session. So we would walk out after, you know, the session was completed, and I would hear conversations. People would walk up and say, Shannon, I agree, you know, I want to talk to you about the comment you made. And
Yeah.
I've experienced the same thing. So it's a spark that really created conversation that went throughout the conference. So it's such an important topic, and I'm so thrilled that we're continuing that session.
Speaking of that spark, I think about where we're going to be for this annual meeting. Austin, you know, it's sort of like an incubator for new ideas. And you all take the statement, you know, keep Austin weird. You take it seriously because you're open to new ideas. Talk to us a little bit more about Austin.
Well, one of the things that we're doing on Sunday is we have Hugh Forrest, who is one of the founders of South by Southwest. And I think he is just going to have an amazing session. It's being held at the Paramount Stateside Theater, which is a historic theater downtown. And Hugh, when I first talked to him about speaking, I was really excited for him to talk about South by Southwest and all the quirky things in Austin and things that have happened. And he really helped me to understand South by Southwest has evolved from music, obviously, for Austin, but then into film when you've got directors like Richard Linklater and Richard Rodriguez. And so then it evolved into technology and now transportation. And he said, you know, we've really followed the interests of the Austin community and how Austin has expanded. And so last year they had an amazing transportation track. They're going to have another one this year. So you'll get to see all of those little sparks and the fires, I guess, that they ignited when it comes to film and technology and music, and how all of those things come together in one city, because we're known for kind of all of it.
Yeah, and as we talk about, again, our theme, resiliency is so critical. And Pat, you mentioned keep Austin weird. I'm a native Austinite. I've been weird since the day I was born, and I'm proud of that fact. But you know, as the city and the region just continues to expand, we're experiencing all the challenges that other big major cities are experiencing. Affordable housing is a major issue, how people get around to that affordable housing opportunities and things like that. So the city itself is trying to figure out how to maintain that keep Austin weird in the midst of this explosive growth that we're seeing. So it's a challenge that we're seeing all over the country. And I think it's really relevant to what each of us are experiencing in our own worlds and our own places where we're coming from.
You've both talked about how this meeting is supersized, and I wonder if I'm going to get an extra large fries or shake or something like that. But there's opportunities for networking and learning, not only in the sessions and not only in the coffee breaks, but in the exhibit hall. Could you tell us a little bit about what people might encounter there?
Yeah, I mean, the exhibit hall, I think, Pat, you and I talked about this a few days ago. You know, I used to be, I would walk around the exhibit hall and say hello to all of my friends from, you know, Transcore or ETC, or, you know, now I walk around and it's, the industry is hardly recognizable. We have so many companies. I think we're at like 190 different organizations. So walking around the exhibit hall is an opportunity not only to network, but to really learn about who is coming into our industry and why. You know, why are these financial companies like Deloitte now looking at our industry? What about our industry is, you know, exciting to them, or do they see as an opportunity to fold into what they're doing? So I don't know. How do you feel about it, DeeAnne?
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. Even my first IBTTA conference was about 8 years ago, and to see the expansion of what's happening with people, with attendees, the different places they're coming from, it is just a testament to how we need to keep rethinking what we're doing and how we're doing it, because there's constantly new ideas, new companies coming into the fold. And if you want to keep up and keep doing what we do and how we do it, you've got to make sure that you're aware of all the different things going on and interacting with all these new attendees throughout the conference.
This is Café IBTTA. Our guests today are Shannon Swank and DeeAnne Vickery. They are the chief meeting organizers for the IBTTA 90th annual meeting and exhibition in Austin. And we are taking your questions. Please feel free to write your questions in the chat or comments. And I notice that Terry Langford has been populating the chat with information about the DE&I Safe Space Conversation. She says 175 people have already signed up for that. And
Wow.
She's got a link in there to see who's coming to the conference. So, you know, one of the things that happens at an IBTTA meeting is that people come and learn from one another, and they're getting better. They're raising the state of the practice. And as a result of that, we're also recognizing people. We've got several programs that recognize individuals and companies, our awards programs. Tell us a little bit about that and the kinds of recognitions we'll see.
So I think, you know, it needs to be said that this industry is has a number of just such accomplished companies and innovative companies and individuals. So to get recognized at you know, through IBTTA, I think is a big deal. You really are sort of the best of the best, and you're being recognized by your peers. So I think that that's a big deal. But we're going to be looking at all of the various awards, and I'm forgetting them right now.
Women in Tolling Awards, Leadership Academy Awards. The really great thing about this recognition is that not only are we recognizing really phenomenal projects and programs throughout the world that are being accomplished, but also all the really great volunteer work that goes on to, you know, behind the scenes. Women in Tolling, Leadership Academy, the
Toll Excellence Award winners, the DEI winners, the Diversity Award winners, which is not a very old, I mean, we've only had that award for
It's his
couple
second
of
year.
years, second
Second
year.
year. This is the
Yep.
second.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And just seeing, you know, that, for instance, just seeing the submissions that are coming in and how that keeps expanding is such a testament to people are excited. They want to showcase what they're doing and share it with IBTTA, the IBTTA family. So it's really great to be able to see all the people receive these different awards and celebrate the great work that this organization and the members are doing.
Last year, we had 5 individuals who received the honorary member recognition. And this year we have 1, and that's Samuel Johnson, the Chief Executive Officer of the Transportation Corridor Agencies. And he was IBTTA president in 2020. And Mark Compton dubbed him the wartime president. So Samuel is one of the people, or is the person who's going to receive the honorary member recognition. So we're excited about that, and we salute Samuel. And as you mentioned,
I think Samuel needs a do-over, Pat. I think he was president, and then the world stopped.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
all right, yeah. So we've got a list of all the awards and recognitions has been put in the chat here. So in case you were wondering who all is going to get recognized or who is conferring awards and recognition, there you have a list. Thank you to IBTTA meetings. Now, at the end of this meeting, we have a special closing banquet, and we really encourage people to attend this. It'll be after all of the networking and educational activities that happen. And I do want to mention an exciting closing session of the annual meeting that's going to be looking to the future and helping people step outside of maybe their normal day-to-day tolling transportation industry views and take a bigger and broader view. But at the end of all that, we've got our closing reception and banquet. Would you tell us a little bit about what that's like?
I mean, for me, the banquet is, I so look forward to that. I feel like it's almost at the end of a project when you're, celebrating all of the accomplishments and hard work of everybody. I love that aspect of the banquet. Everything is done for the year, and then there's that looking forward to the next year and what's going to happen. And we're going to get to meet the new president and kind of chat with Andrew about what his vision is for next year. So I think it's just a wonderful time to celebrate what we've done and then look to this next year and what we want to do.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's such a great closure to the experience. But I also sometimes get a little sad. It's kind of like this has been such a great experience. But then to Shannon's point, to be able to look to the next one and hear everything that's going to be going on for the next year and at the next annual, it kind of leaves you with okay, yeah, this is going to keep going and we're excited about it. So,
yep. I also want to mention the big event, the big socializing event that happens on Monday evening, the Platinum Palooza. And this is where most of our Platinum sponsors have come together to host an event offsite, a little away from the hotel, with lots of fun food and beverages and activities for people to come together and just do that kind of networking that we've been talking about for most of this program today. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say I'm so excited about that. I mean, the last time we were in Austin, we did a huge event out at Rainy Street, and it was just typically on a night where everybody sort of peels off with their various groups, and so to have this event where everybody is together once again, I think is going to be so fun. And thank you to the Platinum sponsors that are putting this together. It's going to be so fun.
Now, you mentioned, DeeAnne, about how at the banquet, it's an opportunity not only to look forward, but also to look back a little bit. And this is our 90th anniversary IBTTA annual meeting. And, to think that we started 90 years ago in the midst of the Depression, as the American Toll Bridge Association. We weren't international. We didn't include roads and turnpikes and that kind of thing. Give us, a reflection on what it means to be part of an association that's been around for 90 years.
Wow, that the history is just incredible. And it would be, I would love, Pat, to know the numbers of people that, that gathered back 90 years ago. Wouldn't that be interesting to see what it's evolved to today? But just as we're talking about new members coming in and just the growth and expansion of this organization, to be able to look back and know this is an organization that's been around, that's been helping in infrastructure and transportation issues, challenges, opportunities for 90 years. It's a testament to what we do. It's a testament to you guys at IBTTA that continue this organization, and help all of us have a place where we can go share ideas, share thoughts. So what an incredible year to be able in Austin to be able to celebrate 90 years. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, when I spoke to Hugh at South by Southwest and told him that it was our 90th annual meeting, he just had to take a step back for a minute. He said that really, to have an organization that is sustained through everything that's gone on over the last 90 years, he was just in awe. I mean, he knows what it takes, clearly, having founded South by Southwest. So he's excited to speak at our 90th annual.
And what's so incredible to me, Pat, as we talk about that, is just the evolution that we continue to change and evolve with what's going on in the world, right? As you said, just look at what the organization was 90 years ago, what it is today, what we've dealt with, what we continue to deal with, what we don't even know we're going to be dealing with in the next 10, 20, 50 years. So when you have history to look back on, it makes the future even more exciting to think about.
So last year, we met for the first time in person since the pandemic began in Anaheim, California. So almost a year ago since we were there. Give us a sense of the feeling of actually being able to have people be together in person.
I just have to say, I mean, going back to the annual in Anaheim, people were giddy. I mean, literally giddy to be able to see. I mean, we managed to make it through the pandemic, do video calls, Zoom calls, things like that. But to actually be able to physically come together for an IBTTA annual, you could just feel the energy in the room. And now going into 2022 with it being in Austin, we're just elated. It's going to be so exciting. And people are, I get text messages and notes, I know you do too, about we can't wait to come to Austin. We're so glad to be together. So there's just there's no substitute for being able to gather in person. I know we did what we needed to do when we had to, and it's good to know that we could do that. But to be able to be in physical presence with the people that we work with in this incredible industry is just going to feel amazing.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the first meetings where there really anything goes. Like, everybody, even friends of mine that maybe were hesitant about attending in Anaheim are just ready to go. And I've gotten calls from people that are like, I'm actually coming in town on Wednesday. Can we have a meeting?
Yeah.
So
Right,
like,
discussion.
I blocked that whole week off for all of the things. So come early.
Yes.
Now we already have 775 people registered to be in person in Austin. Now, for those of you who are not able to attend in person, we will be videoing most of the sessions, and we will make them available to IBTTA members about 2 weeks following the meeting. So if you miss the in-person and the networking, etc., we will have video to show for our IBTTA members. And Shannon, DeeAnne, I'm going to make a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to come back to you for some final words of wisdom before we sign off. So coming up, as you all know, our next in-person meeting is the annual meeting. We've been talking about it for the last half hour, September 17 through 20 in Austin. Then On September 29th, we have the IBTTA book club discussion, and we are reading the book Black, White, and the Gray that looks at the interracial partnership between two restaurateurs and serves as a testimony to the depth of work America must undertake if there is ever to be racial equity. And then our final in-person meeting of the year is the Global Tolling Summit in Dublin. That is October 23 through 25. Please consult the IBTTA website for information about all of our upcoming meetings, both in person and virtual. Shannon and DeeAnne, thank you so much for being part of the program today and for being our chief meeting organizers. So tell us, what final words of wisdom do you have before we sign off today?
Be prepared for heat. So dress as, you know, we're in a little bit of a better weather pattern right now than we were. Maybe we won't be looking at triple digits in a couple of weeks, but as fun as Austin is, make sure that you dress appropriately and you've got some clothes that'll keep you cool during your time here, and just keep it weird. I mean, that is a way that we can gather, we can do all those things that are so important to this conference. But just, you know, when you're here, make sure you go do something. Go see the bats. We didn't have a chance to talk about the bats, but go see the largest bat population in North America on the Congress Bridge while you're here.
Yeah, the
DeeAnne,
Concert Festival is going on at the same time.
Yep.
So lots to do even outside of the conference.
And breakfast tacos. So I know we've had some conversations with Wanda Clayman about breakfast burritos. In Austin, they call them breakfast tacos. They must be a part of everyone's menu when you're here. And we'll tell you the best places to go get one.
Beautiful. And Shannon, final words of wisdom.
You know, I would say it's like anything else. You get out of it what you put in. And so, you know, really jump in there and get involved in all of the things. The sessions are amazing. We have such good content planned. The networking opportunities are off the charts. So just embrace it and just have a blast.
Shannon and DeeAnne, I want to thank you for everything you have put into the annual meeting, and thank you for being our guests today. And to all our viewers, be safe, keep in touch, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks, everybody.